Hi, she's Trixie, and I'm Sarah, and this is Our Yarn World, a place where we come to share the love of yarn crafts and all that it gives us and what we hope it gives you. We're on episode 102 today, and we're kind of coming off of last week where we had some discussion about crocheting and knitting history and just kind of starting on new projects, but you know, like you were even just saying, it was a holiday weekend.
Yes, we had a holiday weekend. My husband surprised us, Sarah and I, by taking us yesterday to a beach south of Saugatuck. We took the kids and we each had bags, and there was rocks on the beach, and we were looking for special rocks, non-special rocks, whatever. Sarah and I really enjoyed some of the rocks. They were really nice and smooth and polished, and so we were picking those, and the kids were picking anything they could, and then they were throwing them into the water because they liked the sound of it, and it was just fun. It was a fun activity, but it was an hour away from where we live. And so I brought crochet with me, and I wanted to say to Sarah, once we got in the van or the vehicle and started moving, it was like, oh, she missed her opportunity. She could have had 2 full hours of just crocheting.
Oh, I can't do it in the car.
Oh, okay. But anyway, so I started another blanket, and it's the same thing, 10 millimeter double stranded, half double crochet, but I'm doing like blues. I'm just starting this way. I don't know what it's going to go into, but so it's blue and white down here, and then the blue is traveling up, but I ran out of the white, so I switched it with brown. So I've got the 2 colors right here, so that's what I'm working with right now. Whenever the blue runs out, I will grab another color, and then it will continue on with the brown until the brown runs out, and then another color will be added. So it will just continue on that route until the blanket is done.
I like how they kind of interweave and overlap in that way.
Yeah, and so this is one of my favorites. Just going
style.
Yeah, going on while one of them runs out, you just add another one and you keep going. But you know, the blue is going through a couple different colors, and then when it runs out, you get another color. But then the brown is running through it, you know, and so it's a fun pattern to do. And then I've got my Nana stitch marker. Yeah, stitch marker on here that Sarah got me, and it's just fun. I enjoy this. It's something easy I can do in the car. I can look up from while I'm doing the stitches. The only thing I really have to look down is for my next stitch where the next stitch is. Mm-hmm. The rest of it is just, you know, my hand knows what to do. So I can look around while we're traveling and do stuff like that too, but I'm still there with my husband. But he knows that I'm going to bring it on longer trips, because he even said it the day before. You probably feel like you didn't get everything because you didn't grab your crochet. And I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't grab my crochet today. And he's like, yep, but we're on our way now. I was only on the ramp. We were just outside the door. But, you know, we were busy and we had to get to places on time. And so we just continued to go. But, you know, I hadn't thought ahead on that day, but I did the next day because he brought it up, and it was like, I am bringing it the next time. So that's why I ended up bringing it with me. But yeah, so Sarah found some really neat racks too. She's even thinking about making some stuff with it, but we'll have to see that when she does it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I kept finding really smooth brown skipping stones, like really, really polished and smooth, thin brown skipping stones, and a huge collection of them. It was almost like just over half, maybe like 40% of my collection of stones when I looked at them were pretty much just those stones.
Yeah, so you can make something.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing it a project with one of the kids.
Yeah.
a friend's kid, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm super excited about that. And I was actually just telling my mom how I want to get the kids more into crafting. And so we might be taking a trip to a craft store with them and having them create their own fun activities. With some things that we might be able to let them kind of like having a little shopping spree and see what they would like to pick up for the projects. And
they're getting older, and this summer is going to be crafting and painting and all kinds of stuff because now they're at that age, and it's just getting fun.
It is just getting fun. So we're really excited to kind of like go out and now that my daughter is out of school, just being able to spend more time with her and just all the things.
And the kids love going to the craft stores with us, so we're starting them early.
Well, you know. But yes, so I was thinking, since last week's topic had been something that I shared, had been just kind of like this information, this basic information about the history of both knitting and crochet and its origins and what it ended up being primarily used for at the time and things like that. I was reminded of my slowly growing collection of knitting and crocheting or just needlepoint work books, whether it be stitch books, whether it be pattern books, whether it be magazines or how whatever they are. I got some of these handed down to me from my great-grandparents, my great-grandparent, my great-grandma, my grandma, like on, I do believe, different sides of the family. But I grabbed the collection that I knew of that was readily available. So I think this is from my dad's side of the family, but I do know that I have some from my mom's side of the family, like my great-grandma, Udall. I just don't know where those are as of right now, but I was mentioning how you have not only the color palettes that each generation favored the most, or just the style, but like the needlework and the stitches that they favored, or the designs that they favored, or whether it was cultural or whether it was just, you know, much more traditional based off of a holiday or an event or just the everyday. It's almost kind of like this art has its own genre, where it's like you have knitting, but what sort of knitting are you talking about? It's like music. You're talking about music, but like you have rock, classics. You have Celtic. You have pop. You have country. You have just anything, rap, whatever. Like it's just like praise and worship. It's like it's all music, but what genre? And I feel like that kind of goes with the like this. And
that's
I know
a good way of putting it. I like that.
It's like genre. Like, what are we talking about? Are we talking about wearables? Are we talking about blankets? Are we talking about practical stuff like towels and things that can be repurposed as like oven mitts and stuff like that? Or are we talking about
Toys?
Are we talking about toys? Are we talking about making wedding gowns? Are we talking about doilies? Are we talking about like, it's just a spectrum, right? And I have just fallen into the hole of eras in which different things seem to be more popular, and noticing them through the time periods in which I have them documented. So I was looking at what I have, and I feel like some of these I did get from my mom going thrifting. But like my mom, I think this is one of them. My mom found this Vogue knitting book that is, you know, if I were to read it, it covers like the history of knitting, knitting supplies, yarns and tools, basic techniques, understanding knitting instructions, correcting errors, circular and double pointed knitting, color knitting, blocking, assembling and finishing, care of knitwear, stitch dictionary, designing, embellishments, modular knitting patterns, traditional knitting patterns. It kind of covers all that sort of stuff in this rendition. This one was published in 89. So I just think that that's kind of cool. And then just after we were talking about like the Irish and the Celtic stuff, and where that was coming from and how there's so much rich history and patterns, and how the Irish people of the time and over time have really perfected the craft of knitting and crocheting once it got to their section of the world. And even just like this, where it's like this is just a kid's wearables pattern book, but it's like little Erin and Celtic knits for kids. It's just so much fun.
Yeah.
Is that how you say that, Erin?
Yeah.
This is from 2013. So it's even just in modern day. Well, good Lord, that was 10 years ago.
Can you imagine?
But then you just have things like this where it's like, they're just fun. Like, I taught myself knitting Boy from the brand that makes some of the tools for the craft things. And then we were finding that I had things like this, Ivana's Afghan A to Z, 52 crochet favorites. So it's like 2 different named alphabetically, so like 2 A named Afghans, 2 B named Afghans,
Yeah.
all the way through. So it's like,
So this is Vanna White, and she, she must have brought her crocheting to the set when they were doing the show, and then, ended up getting patterns from it.
and it's pretty cool. And some of these are just like kid Afghan styles, or they can even be kind of like just nice funky ones, or they can be delicate.
Did you already show the checkerboard one? She even made a checkerboard blanket.
There's one where they even had checker pieces that could, be used to play the game. I thought that was pretty cool. I have these 2 as well, where it's like make it yourself. I don't know what series this was in, but this is book 1 and 2 in this series. But they're a complete step-by-step library for needlework and crafts. And I thought that was kind of cool. And I don't think it's just one thing. Yeah, it's like sewing and just different sorts of crafting. It's not just one thing. Like embroidery and just everything in between. Just promoting the crafting life. I thought that was pretty cool. And we're not going to go through every single one of these books, but like I thought it was really cool, some of the this is like Women's Day, I think that's a magazine, crochet showcase book.
Look at the fun toys on the back. I was just noticing that one.
And they are, this one was from
1980.
1980. Like, just the range in which these crafting can go. This is kind of similar to the style of doll outfits that my grandma Udall used to make, these patterns. These are Barbies, but it's like Miss October, the Antebellum collection. Yeah. So, but it's just a folder with just the pattern. It's just this all nice and neat collected unit.
And that's all it is. It's so simple.
For both of them. And I think that that's so cool.
It is.
And then I kind of fell down this rabbit hole looking at all these different, like you have even just kind of like these Christmas specials that, and it's not like they don't have these today. I'm not trying to act like this hasn't existed forever, but it's one of those like, to see the development of style, like you don't just see doily tablecloths anymore.
Well,
or
it could be timeless though, because you could apply it to the colors of today and have it be relevant in your own home.
Or like, look at this all-in-one, like, it's like one-piece pull over,
like a robe.
Dress robe. Like, these really fun, like, I don't know. This is what gets people into the nesting mood sometimes.
Yeah.
But these brand is from McCall's.
And that's another magazine.
This is from my grandma. Grandma Garvey. So yeah, just the Christmas ones, and you
all
like
about
this one.
Yeah, all about baby, like winking, blinking, and nod. Having baby blankets and baby clothes. Well, looks like mostly baby blankets. Mm-hmm. Just all kinds of fun stuff that you can have and do. And you can, like I said, apply it to today's colors, and it's all relevant again.
And then Bernat, this is from the Bernat brand.
Yeah, yeah.
This one is called Magic Crochet, and this is another magazine.
I think that on the back is so beautiful.
Yeah. Like, I know people that are starting to make, like, the granny square Afghans again. Or, like, look at all of these magazines that they did that you can, like, probably order.
Yeah.
Back issues. But, yeah, it's just, like, all these magazines that I was passed down. I just thought that was pretty cool. Then you have like the kid knits, the different style. Like I thought these were kind of cool when I got these, because it's like, yeah, I mean, it's fun to be able to craft things this size and stuff. Even if I weren't to make kid clothes, even to practice learning wearables on a smaller. At a smaller scale, so you can kind of get used to it without having to exhaust yourself on a bigger wearable scale of like yourself, or a gift.
Yeah, to teach yourself
and to practice.
Yeah,
it can be on a smaller scale. Can teach you how to do it on a bigger scale, where it's like get like a pound of Karen yarn, and you'd be able to knock out a couple different styles with just that, and not have to worry about it, and practice and help yourself. Sorry, my kids are wanting to be in film, and not they can't be today. Go sit down. We're almost done.
Take a drink. Go take a drink.
And then you have like even just these where it's like to encourage kids to do it on their own, patterns that are kind of designated for like shorter attention spans / things that are very doable for a beginner. you know, fun little puppet crafts and such. And just
whenever they get older.
It's bath puppets.
Yeah. So anytime they get older and they want to do this, I've already got the hooks and Mama's got the book.
And you know, like I said, some of these may be out of style or out of date, but it doesn't take away the functionality.
I don't think the kids are going to know that. I think they would enjoy it anyway.
But then you have these, and
these are awesome.
It's been a long time since I saw magazines these size. I remember these, but like, you know, these little pocket-sized magazines.
It's going to be almost the size of a hand.
I remember these, but like I don't, because like I don't feel like I see them anymore. But you know, like you can pick up stuff this size maybe at like
the thrift stores have them all the time.
But like these are so cool, just like these nice, they're very doable size. Like my mom was mentioning when we were looking at them, like you can throw them in the bag, the crafting bag, and be totally on your way to go.
Yeah.
And it's all condensed in there, and I'm sure there's fun stories to read in these too, maybe, I'm not sure. But different types, like you got
crochet home.
Oh yeah, crochet home. Both of these are crochet homes. And these are like just straight up Afghan booklets. They're like 50 cents for a couple, like several patterns. Like that's insane.
I think this one had 7 in it.
Okay.
Oh, maybe not.
Hooked on crochet.
That one said 7. That one.
Hooked on crochet with several different Afghan patterns. Accent on warmth, and it's like wearable pattern booklet. You have the Coat and Clark.
Book number 2.
No.
Oh, 284.
And then you got the work basket.
So it just had a bunch of different, you know, it's a little bigger than your hand. You could throw it in your bag. You'd have all the whole complete pattern or more. If you were away for a week or so, you could do, you know, however fast you were doing it. But
Danny the Clown. Look at that.
Just all kinds of different patterns in there. And it would be worth it to take on your vacation or whatever, you know, and it's small enough to just throw in your craft bag.
Just all these different patterns, and I don't know, it's just one of those things, all these Irish patterns too, where it's like they're alluding to it being like an Irish hat or something, or the classic V cardigan, or some nice knit pullover, or
I'm seeing Sarah getting all revved up to start a new pattern. She's gonna have to find something.
No, I haven't finished the other ones that I wanted to get finished first. But no, there's stuff I still want to get finished. It's one of those things where like, it's kind of like I've been seeing people recently finding old cookbooks from like the 1800s and making recipes from the 1800s.
How fun would that be?
And it feels like that kind of with these with me, where it's like, okay, what would have been different, what would have people my age and this time period have gravitated towards pattern wise, or things like that, where it's like, this is really cool, this is really fun. How would they have been nesting? What would they have wanted to crochet for maybe an event that they were going to, where they had a nice wearable that they could have that they could be able to show off or have now in their closet? Or what sort of blanket would they have wanted to sit down in front of the TV and get lost in their show, or whatever radio station they were listening to, or whatever dramatized thing that they were listening to, and stuff like that. I don't know, it's just one of those things where it's like nice, it's not necessarily method acting as much as just like putting yourself in that time period of like, okay, what would this have been like?
Yeah.
What would this have been used for? And to see the fact that like toys and or like something as fancy as like a dress, like a crocheted wedding dress or something.
Yeah,
it's
amazing.
like the range of where this can take you is so much fun. And as you start this, I gotta go check on the kids real quick.
Okay.
They're out. Olivia's out of school, so now having them have some extra self-control is not exactly the easiest thing in the world while we film.
So the scripture today is trust in the Lord and do good. And that's found in Psalm 37, verse 3. And I'm just thinking we need to trust in the Lord like we do. But to do good, to do what we can for ourselves and for others, that's it's something that all of us can strive to do, and all of us, try to do on a daily basis. I was telling Sarah, I have a bunch of blankets here that I would like to donate to either the homeless or a shelter or an old folks home or something. I have a bunch of them here. I just have to do it, and so my do good would involve that. I've made these blankets. They need to go. They need to be used. They need to be loved, and I can do that for all these people that just wouldn't have any kind of feeling of home if they didn't have that. Mm-hmm. So,
or comfort.
Yeah. So I'm going to trust in the Lord, and I'm going to do good, and I'm going to donate those blankets to those people. And the only reason I'm not doing it to Project Linus is because they're not the size that they need. So
yeah. I didn't get the chance to read all the verses that were around this one because it's so short and sweet. Just the whole Psalms 37:5, trust in the Lord and do good. 37:3. But it's so sweet and to the point, while also I'm wondering what the writer was trying to allude to when he was discussing this. But there is basic principles and just trusting in your foundation and just knowing what you need to do and just trusting in that process.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it's not trust in the Lord. Obviously, that's what it says, trust in the Lord and do good. But I've been thinking in people that don't necessarily just have the same faith as I do or the same relationship as I do, just trusting. Sometimes we get so stuck in our anxiety or our day-to-day or things that it's just just sometimes we just have to kind of recenter ourselves and just be we're going to trust and we're just going to do what we know to do. Yeah. It's sometimes kind of revert back to the basic knowledge that we know, or the things that are innate within us that we kind of are aware of. I can like what you're saying. I made these blankets. They're not doing anything sitting here. I really need to figure out what to do with them, and it's just kind of okay, God, what am I going to do with these stuff? Okay. I just need to go out and do it now. And it's it has nothing to do with the fact that they were bad sitting there. It's not it was a sin to have them sit, but it's okay, I need to be more intentional. I need to kind of think about this. I need to just trust in the process and do it.
I made them for other people. They're not for me.
Yeah.
They're for other people. Now they need to be passed on.
Yeah, and I just, it's just very simple. It seems really straightforward, but, just trust in the Lord. And do good. There are some things that sometimes just require faith, and there's some things that trust in the Lord, faith, trust in the things that you know about Him for yourself, and do good. Just doing what you know to be the right thing to do,
right? And
working forward with that in the best way that you know how and where you're at in your life right now, and just recognizing what that looks like for you. Just like you said with my mom, at this time, it's the abundance of blankets that she has that works for her.
Yeah.
And like I said, there's just this like right now, I've been like decluttering my house because I recognize how well that's going to be for everybody else.
Well, spring cleaning is here, man.
Well, I know. We're kind of more in the summer now, and it's not just a spring cleaning as much as like, I got a lot of stuff, and I don't need it all. And I don't need, like, I dropped off with my mom 7 bags worth of clothes, garbage bags full of clothes, and I have more. And I've given away more than just that already. Like, probably another 7 have already been out my door recently. At least from probably in the last year. And it's one of those things where it's like I'm sitting there being like, this is doing nothing in my house but just collecting dust and causing unnecessary amounts of stress. And my abundance and my stress, the stuff, can bless somebody just by sheer discipline and self-control to just get it done.
Yep.
And it's not easy, but it's one of those things where it's like, it's gonna produce itself, and it's going to do. I'm trusting in the process. I'm trusting in the Lord with the faith of knowing that in doing the right thing and doing what I need to be doing right now, it's only going to produce good things for me and for my family and for others. Like, this is a good effort. Not only is it good for my mental health to clean my house so that I'm not looking at chaos all the time, but I don't need all this stuff and it can bless somebody else. Yeah. Or it's just the fact that all of a sudden having more space in my house is going to cause such an exhale of now we have the room that the house actually has the capacity for, because we don't actually need it to be filled from corner to corner to corner with all this stuff. And I feel like I'm not the only one that deals with that. I've been really looking into it and just recognizing that a lot of people struggle with the things that they collect over time, and recognizing that they have a very limited space for the amount of things that they collect over a lifetime. Yeah. And recognizing when to let certain things go can be something that is not a taught skill. Yeah. And learning to do that without feeling like you're letting go of a memory or letting go of whatever that sparks with you. But the thing is that, or an idea or an intention or any of the things where it's like, well, I feel like I'm wasting money getting rid of something that's this expensive, while recognizing that it's not, this expensive item is not serving you being here, and it's actually costing you more money, because that's space that could be used for something else. And if you really think about how expensive the house is, or the space is, if that doesn't need to be in that space, if that space could be used for something else, it costs you more to have it there than to just let it go. And there's like different perspectives of recognizing that it's not sometimes about I need more space, it's about I need to let go of some of my stuff. And exactly. And there's just a lot of things that I've been doing where just it's like right now I can't wait to have room for my crafting. Because the reality is right now my crafting room is chock full of so much stuff that I can't enjoy it. My dining room table, I have this really nice dresser or like chest of drawers that's right behind it. That one whole drawer is full of my perler beads and different crafting that I'd love to sit down with the kids and do with the kids. And I'd like to have a dinner table ready to be able to be used for a dinner table and used for crafting when I just want to just be like, kids, let's sit down and like you can do blocks or you could do coloring or we could paint or something and just sit down and do this crafting. But I can't even have that because my dining room table is a collect-all all the time. All the time.
Flat surfaces are.
And so it's one of those things where it's like, okay, this is going to take some time, and it's going to take new habits and good boundaries and all these things. And I'm trusting that in doing the right thing, it's going to be fruitful. And I feel like that's what this is. Trust in the Lord, trust in what He says, trust in the faith, trust in what you know of Him, trust in His faithfulness, and do good, do what you know to do. Not everything is going to be clear, but there's some things where it's like, okay, I know it's not benefiting me to not do nothing. Okay. It's not like it's bad, but at the same time, it'd be better if I did this. So it's just one of those things. So I feel like that's something that can be applied to the everyday. Just trust in the Lord and do good. Psalms 37:3.
And it will be in the description for you. And We ask that you subscribe, like, and comment.
Yes.
And we have been enjoying the emails and the comments. And whenever you want to write to us, we are happy to read it and comment back.
My mom normally mans the channel, takes cares, holds the fort. And so when she sends me screenshots of what you guys normally comment and stuff, it's always so much fun.
Yeah, I share
it. She always sends it my way, and I'm like, oh, this is so cool. It feels like being a part of a community.
We consider you guys friends.
Yes. Can't wait to share what we find with the channel or something. It's something we always talk about. So, we will see you guys next week. I don't know what I'm going to have next week, but I'm thinking as more that I get cleaning done, the more productive I'll be on either my crafts that I already know I need to finish, like the Yoda or the Baby Yoda, like Grogu, or the Afghan that I have, or just all these different things. I'll have space cleared off to be able to get it done. Or just even finding these treasures. I will let you guys, I will have those answers next week for let it happen. Let's figure out what it's going to be. And I know you're always crafting. You're always going to have something good to share with us.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Maybe I'll have more of this blanket done. Maybe it'll be completely done. We don't know.
And maybe you'll be able to have a story to share as to where you've dropped things off at.
Yeah. This is going to be a fun week.
So yes, so we hope that everyone has had a good Memorial Day for all those that share it and celebrated it, and that you are getting ready for summer, because boy is it come.
Yeah.
Well, my kids are starting to get rowdy. We're going to have to close up. We hope that you guys enjoyed spending time with us, and as always, we hope that you stitch your way
to mental health.